How's it going? This is Tim with Guard Digital Marketing. So I got this video coming to you as promised. Should contain a few simple tips and tricks you guys can use to improve some of your online presence as a company. So as you saw there, I have the homepage of the website pulled up. Now, one thing I always like to kind of take a look at here is a Google search page. So with this Google search page, what I'm typing in at the top here, of course, to the search bar is roofing, Lawrence, Kansas. So this is what we would consider a buyer intent keyword or phrase that you would want to have within your website so that people can find you, to do roofing services for them within the areas that you do them. So now, with that being said, with you being in Lawrence, Kansas, I decided, of course, with you being not a super large town, but large enough that where you're going to have some decent competition in there, to stick to this area. But now also, I don't know if you come all the way over to like Olathe or Overland Park near Kansas City, or if you go over to Topeka too. But I'll kind of show you those areas as well. Because if you could dominate Lawrence and then kind of spread out to these other areas too, you could, get all the traffic from these other areas as well. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of different variations to this too. You can do roofing companies, Lawrence, Kansas, roofers, Lawrence, Kansas, so on and so forth. So you want to be able to have all those that have a decent amount of volume, searches per month within your website so that people can actually find you. Now, the main thing also here too is you want to be within the first page of Google when it comes to those keywords. So, where 90% of people are going to stay, you want to be able to be found there. Now, there's going to be a few ways to do that. Of course, you can do it through these ads that we're seeing. Not always the greatest way, but if you needed like customers right this second, this would definitely be the way to do it. It's not going to help you as much in the long run. Otherwise, you'd have to just keep doing these ads over and over and over again. And really the cost in the long run is much higher than getting it and doing it through these organic ways. So there's a couple ways of doing it organically too. Ranking on the first page, this first section here is through the map pack. So with your Google business profile, be able to rank within here. And since you guys are actually located in Lawrence, this is where you would rank within the Lawrence, Kansas section here. You couldn't rank in Topeka, or you couldn't rank, over in Overland Park. You can only rank within Lawrence for your actual business profile. So I'm not seeing you within here yet. I did go ahead and I did click this just a second ago before starting the video, and I saw you here. So here you guys are. And it's looking like probably the main reason you guys aren't going to be right up here on the front is not the lack of ratings, but the lack of total amount of reviews when it comes compared to these top three. We can see even the lowest one has over 3 times the amount of reviews. So that's where I would kind of start out on, making sure you're always getting great reviews from your customers. But make sure the entirety of your Google business profile is filled out too, and that'll really help you rank within this map pack. And this is huge because, as we could tell, this is closer to the top of the page, so a lot of eyes are going to hit this. And if you're within this top 3, you'll get 30 to 40% of your entire traffic coming from online through this map pack alone, okay? Now, here's where you are excelling though. So you guys are within the actual organic listings. You're ranked second, okay? So doing very well there, beating out some of the directories too that I'm seeing. So really the top competitor in your area here when it comes to the organic listings is going to be Garrison Roofing. So I went ahead and I pulled up them into this same program I'm about to throw you into. Now, looking at your home page here, few things I'm always looking at. Okay, I didn't see that before. You guys actually do a lot of different services here, so that's good to know. Now, really, when it comes down to a home page, what I typically want to see first is, of course, the layout of it. Is it going to turn anybody away from looking at it? Is it glitchy? Is it slow to load? Things of that nature. In this case, all that seems to be fine. There's nothing that would, steer somebody away from your website once they got here, so on and so forth. Now, the other thing I'm always looking at is the amount of content on the homepage. So we got a section of content here, so words that I can highlight, and then we got a section down here as well. So those are a couple of main sections of actual content. Now, why this is huge, and is really huge on the rest of your pages as well of the website, but Google on the homepage has a sweet spot of 1,500 to 2,000 words of content on just the homepage alone, okay? Now, with that being said, every 150 to 200 words of that content, you should have one of those buyer intent keywords. And what those buyer intent keywords do is it allows Google to figure out what you need to rank for. Because when Google comes into your website and crawls it, they don't look at it with human eyes, they're actually reading it. So they're reading all this content, trying to figure out where to rank you and where to place you within their search engine, right? So that people can find you. And of course, Google wants to be able to point people in the correct direction as most as possible. So being able to lay out your website correctly is big in being able for Google to figure out what you do, where you do it at, so they can rank you properly. Okay. Now, with all that being said, I went ahead and I threw you into this paid program I use called Ahrefs. Now it gives me a dashboard of numbers that I can do kind of a quick overview and do also quick comparisons. Now, these first two numbers here are actually ratings for Google when it comes to trust and power through them that your website has. The first one is for your entire website, and the second one is actually for your homepage alone, okay? Now, I can tell you right off the bat, your overall power and trust is actually pretty decent. This is rated out of 100, but really once you get into the 30s and 40s, you're really starting to have some power and trust within Google. Now, what's lacking is your homepage, okay? You want your homepage to be the most powerful page on your website, hands down. So you definitely need to build out more backlinks from these referring domains to your homepage to make it more powerful, and also optimize it so that you can gain more volume to that, more clicks to the homepage to make it more powerful as well. Now, when it comes to these backlinks, you need to make sure you're getting backlinks from referring domains that already have high power and trust ratings from Google, so that it grants or gains more credibility back towards your website to increase your ratings here as well. Okay. Now you have just over 110 keywords within your website, so not too bad. But I noticed you had a blog on your website, so you're probably going to get some not considerably buyer intent keywords, meaning people coming into your website could be looking through the blog for information and not necessarily looking for you and calling you guys up for services that you guys provide. So with that being said, though, overall traffic to your website is not horrible from the numbers that I'm seeing here. So definitely a good start with what you guys are up to. Definitely need to figure out a way to optimize some of these pages within your website, and then also do some research through the keywords to see exactly what are the keywords that are going to bring you customers, and then what are the keywords that are going to just bring in traffic to the website, not necessarily buyers of your services. Okay. Now, Garrison Roofing here. Okay. I'm not really going to go through their homepage here too much, just to try and keep the video shorter here because I'm kind of running long already. But we can see their power and trust ratings here are actually nowhere near yours, but they're still gaining as much traffic. So I really have to do some more research here to figure out exactly why. I mean, one of the main reasons is they're actually ranking here first. But when I'm actually looking at these numbers, it doesn't seem like they should be. So they must be doing something else in here to be able to do that. So that would take a little bit more research. Now, what I want to do too is, let's say you go over to Overland Park to where there's going to be a little bit more population and overall search volume for roofing in this area. I went ahead and I pulled up this Roofing Man. This was the top competitor in the area, and I threw them into the same program. Now we can see even your top competitor over in this area isn't even super high when it comes to rankings, but you can see they're bringing in almost 160 traffic-wise. So if you were able to dominate, quite a few of these areas, depending on how far you go out from Lawrence, but if you were able to dominate Lawrence, over to Topeka, and then some of this Kansas side of Kansas City, you could be bringing in, multiple hundreds of traffic into your website every month. And normally about 30 to 40% of that is going to be turning into some type of lead your way. So there you can kind of see the potential that doing this correctly online has. So you definitely need to rank within this map pack and then start looking at some ways to optimize the website here. And then one thing to always do is keep building out these backlinks from these referring domains to just keep boosting up the power that you have with Google. And that will allow you to rank for all the keywords that you do have within your website. So with that in mind, cutting the video here, definitely running along. Should be some information you can use to your advantage here. So I'd love to hear some feedback on the video. And, did you love it or did you not? Or maybe you even hated it. And then, of course, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me as well. And you can do that whether it's a phone call, email, or a text. And then I just wanted to appreciate you. And I do thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch the video.